Hello, today we're going to talk about InfraScience's Azure APPI capabilities. APPI is the Application Infrastructure Practice at InfraScience. And what we're going to talk about today is the power of automation and our competencies. Recently, Microsoft posted a video on the Azure Dev website that I'm going to play for you right now. It's a pretty cool site, and it's off of their YouTube channel. And it's a really nice video. It actually encapsulates what a application infrastructure developer does on a consistent basis. You can kind of get the feel for how we work. So take a few minutes and take a look at this, and then after that we'll launch into a couple of other aspects of Azure and automation. And I'll also be touching on Tuesdays with Corey from Azure, bringing up one of his videos to actually identify specific capabilities that they've embedded into Azure with regards to spinning up a SharePoint high availability farm. So take a look. So this is what it looks like now with the new preview in Microsoft Azure. When you enter the Microsoft portal for Azure, they have a new preview out. So this is what it looks like. Gives you an idea of their geolocations. You have the ability to take a tour, provide feedback, or even see what your billing rates and charges are for this current period. So I'm going to go ahead and just go straight to the portal. And what you'll see here is actually the portal that I have set up in a minimalized SharePoint environment, which equates to a domain controller, a SharePoint server, and a SQL server, and go through the process of spinning these up. So what you do is you just select on one of these. I'm going to start off with the domain controller, and you just select Start. Say yes, and it'll go ahead and spin that one up. And I'm going to save a little time and pause for a second. So now the machine has been turned on. I can connect to it if I wish. So now my domain controller is actually enabled. I'm going to go ahead and next turn on the SQL server. I could either do it off the main portal screen, and by clicking on the SQL server here, go to that SQL server. Selected the wrong one. SQL here, and go there and press Start. You can do it that way. So this one's coming up right now. You'll see that it actually successfully started the other domain controller. In a SharePoint environment, or really any environment, you want to make sure your domain controller is on first. And as far as SharePoint goes, you certainly want to make sure your SQL server is turned on first before spinning up the application server for that. So we'll go ahead and wait for this to get started. And now you'll see that the SQL server has actually been successfully started. I'm going to go and click on my SharePoint machine. I'm going to dismiss these completed items. And while I'm on the SharePoint portal screen for that, I'm going to go ahead and say Start this server and let it go. And while that's spinning up, we'll certainly fast forward through the next part. So the process to bring up the virtual machine insofar as to access SharePoint directly as a server is just by clicking on the Connect button. When you do that, you're going to be downloaded an RDP file, a remote desktop profile. You say OK, go ahead and open it, and you'll be asked for individual credentials. Now once you've done that, what you will see is the actual virtual desktop itself, the remote desktop in the machine. So here I am looking at my SharePoint machine, and as an example I'll go ahead and give you an idea as to what's loaded on this. You've all probably seen this before if you've seen the earlier video on SharePoint Business Intelligence and Azure. And what we'll see here is a demonstration, or the demonstration site. So what you're looking at here is a sample SharePoint site. You'll notice it says a demo intranet site. But again, it's one of those where if you were to just navigate around, certainly you'll see familiar items such as your login, who you're logged in as, individual capabilities to go to site settings or site contents. I've even brought up the central admin screen. So hopefully that helps, and I guess really what it comes down to is that it makes it's important to note that we can spin up these kind of environments very easily by using PowerShell. So discussing SharePoint automation, one thing that I would like you to see is I'm going to embed a Azure Tuesday conversation, or at least a content snippet of it. It's not really taken out of context insofar as what we have the capability of doing now, thanks to the work that Microsoft has put forth with regards to testing out the Azure capabilities, is a ability to scale up a SharePoint high availability form. You'll see that in this video, and we've gone through the process of implementing that same set of software that they've put together into accounts ready to use. So enjoyed the rest of this video, and I hope that you'll continue to follow, subscribe to the YouTube channel itself, and like this post. Have a great day and come back for more videos.
What piece added to Windows Azure IaaS makes you look back and go, wow, we did it. Never thought we would.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed to say there's probably a lot of pieces like that. No, I think the one area that when we started was sort of our exit criteria that we said we have to do this before we ship was a very easy way to spin up a SharePoint farm. It ended up being sort of a good example of a very complex application. It involved Active Directory, a lot of networking requirements, and frankly, it found a lot of bugs as we were trying to make it work, and it was just challenging and also very interesting to learn about. Just a couple days ago, actually, we've been working on some things in the team, and I was able to spin up a multi-VM, high availability, 8 VM SharePoint farm with a single click of a couple PowerShell scripts. And so I sort of, with the success of that, said, wow, we did it. We actually made it there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully our customers can experience what you experienced.
Hopefully they can. I don't want to say when
Please
because
don't.
okay.
Because we'll edit that
This
out.
is uncomfortable.
It is.